So many storylines we can go with this, but I'm going to say this right quickly. I love the idea of the Cowboys versus the Eagles week 1. Here's the storyline. Dak Prescott versus Jalen Hurts, MVP, Super Bowl winner. Now you're looking at the aspect of also what was the real issue of the Cowboys, right? One can always paint the picture of Dak Prescott. Well, the other can talk about the fact that the Cowboys can't stop the run. Where here you go, you're going up against the number 1 defense of last year, the Philadelphia Eagles, right? And now one of the calling cards for the Eagles been, dare I say, running the ball with Saquon Barkley. So everybody should be really pretty much healthy week 1. The Cowboys healthy, the Eagles healthy. Where do they match up? It's going to be a fantastic week. Shout out to the NFL for leaking the schedule, though, so we won't be on pins and needles with this. Now, granted, Dak Prescott is a 9-4 all-time versus the Eagles, 3-3 at the Lincoln, right? And on top of that, when you start looking at everything, the storyline for what it is, when the Cowboys really faces the Eagles, it's like the little brother, right? The Eagles literally, they are the little brothers, right? Of the NFC East, they have the least of all of the teams. And, of course, it's been 30 years, 30 seasons. The Cowboys haven't lifted up that Lombardi trophy. I get all of that. But if you watch and look at every single Eagle fan, normally they are always talking about the Dallas Cowboys. They get their vitamin D, every single day because they got to talk about the Cowboys. And regardless of it, they are still at the bottom. They haven't passed the Washington. They haven't passed the Giants, by the way. And now we look at all of this and we're saying, okay, the Cowboys versus the Eagles week 1. Come on with it. I'm ready for it. This will be a good test for Matt Eberflus, right? Can he stop the run? That's one thing. This will be a great test for the offense of what he will bring to the table. Will we be a balanced team? Will this be a situation and scenario? You got to worry about CeeDee Lamb. You got to worry about George Pickens. You got to worry about our outside weapons, plus the running back by committee approach. Now, granted, far as the Eagles, yes, they have been more successful than us in the last 30 years. I would give them that cookie, right? But it's not like they caught up with the Cowboys in any stretch of imagination. When you start to look at the individual situation, Eagles, when we start to look at this now, Eagles versus the Cowboys, all-time record, we're going to say this right here. When we look it up, I want to be able to showcase this to the world to let them know that this is really not a challenge, right? The Dallas Cowboys holds the all-time record 74-58, versus the Eagles. Let me put that includes 71-57 in the regular season. And it states here, let's see, 3-1 in the postseason. The Eagles' records against the Cowboys, 58-74. And with that being said, 1-3 versus the Cowboys in the postseason. So the Cowboys been dominating this rivalry, 74-58. So whenever you hear and see Eagle fans talking about this and that, well, the record speaks for itself. The Cowboys are on top of everything. We hold and we carry most of the NFC East. There's really no rivalry because we so far ahead of anybody that's in the NFC East, right? And you guys can do your own independent homework on that. So now that I'm looking at all of this from A to Z, I'm thinking that in my mind, the Cowboys, we are heading in the right direction, even though this team, the Eagles, just coming off of a Super Bowl. Shout out to them for that Super Bowl, by the way. But they got a long way to go, and we are the king of the East, and we are the beast because we dominate the East, and we from the West because they know we the best, baby. That's just how that goes, Cowboy Nation. Schedule release, week 1, Cowboys versus the doggone Eagles. I love it. I don't like it at all, Cowboy Nation, and I really believe that we now get a chance to see Shoddy run and operate his system. We'll be a run-first team with play action added to it. Also, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hey, I can't wait. The number 1 defense versus the Cowboys. Who Well, we was at the bottom of everybody's list last season. So let's see what we look like for the 2025 season. Can't wait. Jalen Hurts, we watching. Saquon Barkley, we ready. Baby, come on with it. Hey, AJ, Smitty, come on with it, baby. DC for life, not for short. Post me your thoughts. I'm already seeing the Cowboys starting off the season 1-0. Let's go, baby. Let's get it one way or another. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Cowboy Nation, let's get it. Let's rock with it. And let's go. DC for life. Peace. I'm out.